Mic test.
Mic test.
There we go. Hello, anybody watching this in the future? This will be the final stream of 2025. It's been 19 days since my last one, where I started work on filling up this half of Platform 1. I only got about halfway at best, maybe a quarter and a half done with that. And then I finished it up, this half and that half, in a time speed video that I made later, because I realized doing this on stream was going to take forever, and I don't have the ability to stream every single day, so since then I've done even more work. I have filled up a good 90+% of Platform 2. So you can see there's still a bit there, but I think I've got enough stone to do that now. And I also have grabbed a bunch of dirt and grass blocks to start filling in Platform 1. Over three double chests worth, which may sound like a lot, but I know for a fact that's not going to be much at all, I feel like. Because it took like multiple double chests just to do one of the halves of the platform, so for stone, so I don't see me getting that far, unfortunately. But the point of the live stream is just to document the start of the process. Because I don't really want to make a video separately about that. So I have, first I'll finish the stonework, and then I'll start placing the dirt, which 2 double chests of dirt are down there, and then there's 2 more double chests in the house up there. Or another double chest in the house up there. Like a double chest in a quarter or so, maybe a little less. So this one is full of stone. Should probably grab torches. Might need more than that. Okay. So, I hope you guys had a good Christmas, whoever is watching this in the future. I did. Even though I kind of knew about a good 90% like plus of what I was going to get. My Christmas haul photo went up, I think, was it yesterday? I don't remember. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it was 2 days ago. I don't know. I took those pictures when I decided to dust one of my shelves. I still need to dust the other 3. I keep putting it off. I keep saying, oh, I'll do it today, and then I just never do it. But I'll definitely do at least one of them today. 2 of those 3 shelves have at least one, like, shelf in whatever, dusted already, so it's really just I need to do 5 shelves on those shelves instead of all 6, so I have to do the tops as well. I haven't done that yet. I have a lot to dust. A lot to dust. may notice I might have lower levels than I did before. Yesterday I spent time in the overworld gathering the dirt, of course, which I'll show that area later. Assuming nothing bad happens, like the game crashes or whatever. Even though I was like, I should probably pause the game because you can actually do that now, I was just like, you know what? Whatever. So I got killed by a zombie when I was I forget what I was doing. I forget why I had to go AFK for a second. I forget. I don't remember. Who knows if anybody will show up this time. It seems, as I suspected, that one stream that got like hundreds of views or whatever, for whatever reason, is probably a one-off. I don't know why that happened. It would be nice to get more viewership like that, but whatever. I don't do this for the views anyway, I just do it to document what I do. Okay, that should be done. Yes, it is. There we go. That should be good enough, I think. So I've been updating the map periodically. So I think it's up to date. So that might be what we have to do. Maybe even less. But I feel like that should be enough. I hope. I hope this is enough. Surprisingly, I haven't had a lot of Enderman spawn when I was working on Platform 2. I don't know why. They really, even though everything's lit up, they really like to spawn when I was roofing off Platform 1. But they didn't want to spawn on Platform 2? I don't know why. They usually just spawn out of a bug. It's like they don't normally spawn because like there should be enough light. But yeah. The part of it, like in the last few weeks I was wondering, like, should I have done it this way or should I have made it more like vertical instead of horizontal? So like platform 1 would go this way, and then the bridge would go that way, and then the other platform would be over there. Because I'm like, that probably would have been better. But at the same time, I was like, these platforms are very long, so if I made it vertical, it's like, you'll probably be able to see the outer end islands. So I'm like, I'm still not sure. Either way, far too late to change it now. So, not doing that, but just made me wonder. I was like, did I make the wrong decision? Probably, but whatever, I'll live with it. This end project is going to be something I'm going to be working on for like, I feel like years at this point. Because I've spent a few months on it already. Well, I guess I have been working over 2 months on this bit, but like another 2 months on the main end island. Like I have ambitious plans for this. Eventually it's like, should I get an elytra? Should I get beacons? Maybe, but it is kind of, even though it takes far longer to do this without those things, there's kind of something like accomplishing about it if you do it this way instead, because it just takes longer. I don't know. Basically, how I filled this in on this one anyway was not that way. I did it like this. Just kept walking. Oh yeah, that's right, my last stream ended because for whatever reason the I don't know why. The PlayStation glitched out and like the TV went black screen. And I was like, why? What happened? And I couldn't get it back to like HDMI messed up. Obviously, it's like I could have just turned the TV off and turned it back on because the PS4 would have stayed on, but I didn't do that. I just decided, you know what, unplug the PS4. Which ended the stream. It's like, it was just a funny way to end the stream anyway, so I was like, you know what, even though I probably could, like I thought about that in my head, I'm like, I probably could just turn the TV off. I was like, it would be kind of funnier to end it this way. But I'm just like, I forget what I was going to talk about. Like I think I remember talking about, I'd have to rewatch that. Like one of the funnier things I think I talked about but didn't really go into because I got interrupted by a viewer or whatever. Like my Christmas in general, I even though I'm now an adult, it's like I try to still attempt to get a bit of a surprise factor to it. So I usually give my mom and dad like Google documents of various items to choose from or whatever. So I know what they're going to choose. I know whatever they choose is good. It's just I don't know which one, what they will choose. But this year, my mom was just like, heck it, and bought everything. And I'm like, okay, that's not what I intended you to do, but okay. Like, I knew that she bought everything. That's just like, okay, that's a lot of cool items, but those are expensive things, but I guess if she thinks she can do it, she'll do it. She's not the best with money. Is it my fault for recommending expensive things? Sure, but I only do that because I know that she would do it. And that she might be able to, like, get away with that. But it's just like, it was just strange. I made a new video today, or I put a video together. It's footage I got of the Zaku 1 on Arctic Base. I got that footage on Christmas Eve. I forget when. Maybe in like late afternoon, Christmas Eve. I played. There was in GBO2. There was Arctic Base in rotation at 300 cost. Like that was the only map at 300 cost, and I was like, you know what? I'll play the Zaku 1. I'll see how it goes. And I actually did pretty good. And for a while, like I had multiple rounds where I got 6 kills, and or more, and I was like, what do I choose? Eventually, I was like, oh, this is the obvious, more entertaining one. The other ones were just like, oh, these will be good for bonus clips. Initially, the one I chose was like, should I go with this as bonus clips? And I cut the best part out of it. But I was like, as a whole, it was still really good. So I'm like, you know what? I'll go with that. Last night, actually, I got another Zaku 1 round on the underground base map. I forget what it's actually called. Like the Jaburo map. And I got 8 kills. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. When I will finish that, I don't know, because it's like, I don't know if I want 2 Zaku 1 videos to come out at once. Luckily, when I edited that Zaku 1 video together, I was able to cut out a lot of the bad cuts that were in it. Basically, on PS4, there's something dumb that happens where if you make a video clip, yeah, I have plenty enough. Okay, well, I can always use this this stone for later. Basically, whenever you make enough bonus clips, or not bonus clips, why do I keep saying that? You make enough video clips, eventually if you have too many, your latest ones will get like random cuts taken out of them, and it's really flipping annoying. I'm just like, how about don't let me make them if you're going to take parts out of them? It's like, what's the point of making a clip if you're going to cut parts out of it? Like, I've had some occasions where, like, I remember, like, during the Star Wars event in Fortnite, like, one of the first ones with the lightsabers, I got a really cool clip where, I did some, like, gymnastics and killed somebody midair with it, with a lightsaber, and then I clipped that clip, or whatever, and guess what it decided to take out? The only thing I made the clip for. So I'm like, dang it. So you get me, like, jumping, and then you get me landing on the ground with him dead, and I'm like, are you kidding me? So you ruined one of the coolest clips I think I've gotten in this game in a while. Why? This is years ago, but it was just like, that's so annoying. I still uploaded it. It's like, I don't remember if it was a private video or not, but just to show how flipping aggravating it is, because you can imagine what happened between that. But it's just like, are you kidding me? The 1 second you skip is the most important second. Why? So like, I have a bunch of footage right now. I did a purge recently of all the clips I wasn't using from like the last 4 or 5 months. But all my recent clips, so like I got a lot of cool rounds with the Nemo cannon that I recently colored, like G2 Euro G1 Iron Fist from Transformers. And I was like, and I really like those rounds, but I'm like, there's a bunch of cuts in them. None of them are, not many of them anyway, are that bad, but it's just like, really? So, part of me is like, do I want, and then there were some things where like, oh dang it, I forgot to record that. Like, sometimes for bonus clips, I like to have like a theme with them, and like, I got some, there was a few rounds with it that I got some interesting kills on pilots. So like pilots on, like, when they're trying to take a point or whatever. So like, one time I stabbed one with his standard, like, attack, which is like a jab forward, out of midair. I then, at another round, I killed him with the main cannon. Another round, I killed him with, killed one with the Vulcan guns. And like, those would have been really cool to have all as, like, in a row, or whatever, as like bonus clips at the end. But I don't know if I recorded, like, I at least didn't record one of those. I don't think I recorded 2 of them, which I'm just like, because I forgot, because I was like, oh. Because those rounds themselves weren't that great, which is why I didn't record it, but I did think when that happened, because it happened earlier in the round, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Should probably record. But I was like, I'm not going to hit record until at the end of the round, because obviously that will mess it up if because I'm like, what if this round is going to be good? It wasn't. So, and then I just like, yeah, I'll leave and edit the video, forgetting to press record. So I'm like, for that specific moment, I'm like, dang it, I forgot. Like, a lot, like, sure, my videos are very simple. They're just made with the editing software, which isn't very good on PlayStation 4. But I'm like, it still takes a long time. Maybe not to edit them. Like, maybe it doesn't take a very long time to edit the video, but it takes a very long time still to gather the footage a lot of the time. So, since most of my Gundam videos are not comprised of singular rounds, so just tons of trial and error. Like, it takes a long time to make the videos, even with how simple they are. I'm sure it's nothing in comparison to like documentary style videos, or those probably take like months to make. But still, I could be spending like a whole week plus on on trying to get footage. Like GBO 2 especially is a type of game where it's like you're not gonna get this footage quickly, because you need to wait forever for the type of like round you want to become available. And then you could, once that happens, which that could take like days, you might not even get a good round. So you wasted all that time waiting. and you need to wait all over again. So it's very time consuming. I love that game, I do. One of my favorite games of all time, easily. It's a big reason as to why I'm a Gundam fan, even though I already knew about Gundam long before I even knew that game existed. But yeah, like I eventually became a big UC fan anyway. I'm not really the biggest fan of alternate universe stuff. They announced recently they're going to be adding Victory Gundam stuff to the game, which is cool. It's like super late Universal Century. To the point where it's so late in the timeline that it has barely anything to do with the other shows. So that's that dirt filled in. I should probably fill in the map. Did I already use that much dirt just for that? Jeez. Like it's a lot more dirt than it looks. A lot. Yeah, that's correct grammar. Okay, yeah, I was going to check the map. This one, this one, this one. Tomorrow I have a bunch of things besides that video coming out. That video is going to come out at noon Eastern time. Yeah, today my top 10 figures of each year of the decade so far, excluding this year, post came out, which was my top 10 figures from 2020, 2021, 2022, etc. All the way up to 2024. I made that post at the beginning of this year. I scheduled that, I took those pictures and made that when I got the new shelves, and I got the two new shelves for my birthday this year. So I've had that post scheduled for probably like 9-10 months. Probably over 10 months. Probably take my shield off. So no, not my shield. Okay, there we go. There we go. So yeah, that came out today, and then tomorrow I have, in addition to the video which I made today, I have 4, I think? Yeah, 4 posts coming out. One at 11:30, one at 12:30, one at 3:30, and one at 4:30. Which are top 10 figures of the year, honorable mentions. So like the top 20, I guess, like the first half of the top 20, and then top 10 figures of the year. And then I have top 10 rarest Transformers I saw in person this year that I didn't buy, which, to be fair, was a good majority of them, because like I may buy some expensive figures, but I'm not made of money. Like I only buy expensive figures if I find decent deals for them or get them for Christmas, and even then those are usually decent deal ones anyway. And then there's just top 10 rarest items that weren't Transformers. the top 10 rarest items or whatever, and those also have honorable mentions on top of that, like the rarest items. Not things I got this year, but things I saw. Those are just lists. Whereas like things I got, like those have like paragraphs of backstory and whatever for them. So I like to explain like, oh, this is the backstory and when I found this, or when like. So basically, each item has its name and the date I got it, and each item, I went down there to put the maps away. I keep getting distracted. Why do I do this? And each item has like a description like, oh, this is what I was doing, this is how I found it, or like backstory beyond for why I wanted to get it, type of thing. So this is this one, that one, that one. There we go. Looks nice. One item that I like was something I got for Christmas this year. I wrote a lot for, but in the end I could only keep like the majority of the description. Like I had to cut out some of the important stuff because I ran out of space. Like the weird thing about making a community post on YouTube, or just a post, I don't know. They used to be called community posts, but then once they actually made it possible for communities, like a community to be formed, they just named them to change their name to posts. The thing about posts is like there is like a word limit or a length limit. I don't know if there's a word limit. There's like a length limit, but it just doesn't. Yeah, there's a length limit. It just doesn't tell you. Like you can keep typing forever. And then you could say, that's good, and then it'll say, no, it's too long. And it's like, could you maybe have stopped me from typing when it was too long? It doesn't do that. So you have to, like, by trial and error, delete things you might think you can get rid of. And then see if that's good enough length. So that was a little frustrating. I might make a post explaining it, but the item I was writing that description for was Transformers Armada Power Links Thrust, the early production / Toys Dream Project version, the red one. Like one of my favorite things about like toys and stuff is like sometimes looking into their history, and this one is a very interesting one because as the name implies, oh, it's an early production copy of it. Basically, Transformers Armada, which is the Transformers line from 2000, like late 2002 to 2003, like mid 2002, I think. That sounds about right. For whatever reason, it tended to have weird color limitations. Like the higher-ups were a bit strange when it came to the colors of figures. So initially, like a good example of this is like, oh, Tidal Wave looks nothing like he does in the show versus the toy, because even though him and his in his show colors came out in Japan, because of course it's an anime, so the toys were designed. Well, pretty much every Transformer was designed in Japan first, for the most part. Though they usually have like Hasbro like pretty much every Transformer is made as like a joint project between Hasbro and Takara. Nowadays, anyway. From like 1986 to now, every Transformer is pretty much a collaboration between Takara and Hasbro. Or in the 90s, it would be like half of the 90s was Takara and Kenner. When it came to Beast Wars. And potentially Beast Machines, I think, even though they weren't credited on those boxes. But technically, Kenner still existed up until about 2000 or so. It's just by 1999, for whatever reason, their name stopped getting used on boxes. I don't know why. Even though it was still Kenner working on them. It is kind of confusing, like, obviously, like with Jurassic Park was the first toy line I ever collected. For the most part. Like, Kenner was already bought by Hasbro by then, because they became part of Hasbro when Hasbro bought their parent company, Tonka, in like 1990, 1989 or so. Maybe 1991 even, now that I think about it. So they would have been pretty newly owned by Hasbro when the contract for Jurassic Park came to them. Or it came to Hasbro and they gave it to Kenner, I don't know. Anyway, a lot of, like, obviously, like on the back of the box, like the legal information ever would be Hasbro's, but it has Kenner's name on it. And a lot of the times, especially on the Lost World Jurassic Park and beyond, the toys would have Hasbro copyrights on the bottom of them. But there is some rare examples, and I feel like that was even the case for a lot of the Jurassic Park 1 figures, but there is a few rare examples of some of them being branded with Kenner's name instead, and I'm like, why is that? Like, Jurassic Park Series 2 Barry Onyx, I believe, has Kenner on the bottom, not Hasbro. And maybe so does the Utah Raptor, I believe. It's interesting. I don't really know why I'm talking about this now. Let's go back to Armada. Another weird case, like these are things I was going to talk about that I had to remove when writing that description. Another weird case would be Nemesis Prime, the only other Armada figure I actually own. He was released, I think, around the same time as Power Link Thrust was, like the final wave. Like, at least one of the final waves, anyway. Before Energon came out. Still not sure if I want to get a new one. My Nemesis Prime from Armada doesn't have his, like, smokestacks or whatever, or his Minicon. And I put the Dark Star Saber, or whatever it's called, from Netflix Nemesis Prime in his hand. But the problem is, I don't know if I can remove it. I feel like I can, but I'm scared to break him. Sure, I didn't pay a stupid amount for him, but kind of like 50, but that's still a lot. So it's like, At this point, it's like I'd probably just pay 75 to get a new, complete one. But I do have an attachment to that figure because it's like the first Nemesis Prime I ever got. Now I think about it though, I've owned him longer than 2020, so he wouldn't have made that list. I think I got him like 2019, 2018 or something. But anyway, Armada Nemesis Prime is like dark shade of blue instead of black, and instead of gray, he has like sandy tan colors. It's kind of funny when, like, I think TJ Omega brings up when he's looking at the Nemesis Prime, it's like, I wish Nemesis Prime was more like this, and it's like, Do you realize they only made 2 Nemesis Primes like this, and they both came out practically at the same time? That's it. Only the first 2 ever Nemesis Primes had that color scheme. And I have both of them, which are the Universe 2003 one and that one. Both came out around the same time, I believe. Or at least they would have been in development at the same time. But yeah, apparently the reason for that was because the Hasbro executives were like, I don't know if kids would want to buy a figure that's so, like, monochromatic. Like, so boring. And I'm like, just because it's boring doesn't mean it's not cool. As they would later learn, because every single Nemesis Prime since those 2 has been some variation of that. For the most part. Maybe not the Universe 2008 one. But pretty much all the other ones have been like that. But anyway, back to Thrust. So his color was changed from like his more G1 colors, red. Basically, Armada Thrust was initially gray and green. But then when it came to the later part of the series, where like they did the Power Links version, so like repaints that were justified as like power ups in the show. Like they were charged with like minicon energy or whatever, so they changed their color. I think the first time that ever happened that I can think of was like a repaint was justified as like a power up for a character instead of a different character in a TV show. I think was the Autobot brothers in RID 2001. They got like super modes, which was the series that predated that Armada, so that makes sense. I don't think that happened in any other series. Well, I guess you could say Goldbug, but that's not a repaint. That's a brand new toy. It's just the same character as Bumblebee, just new name, new body. So I wouldn't say that. Very different context too. Anyway, Thrust did not get a Power Links version in the TV show. Like he didn't get an upgraded form. Because I think he died already. Spoiler for a show that came out like 22, 23 years ago. I think he was already killed by the time that occurred. Or at least he was going to be, so there's no point in giving him that. But Demolisher, who is another figure that was going to come out the same wave as him, did get that upgrade. And he was changed to a red color. While the Power Links version was in development as a toy, they hadn't made that decision in the show yet. Like the show hadn't. It was either not revealed to Hasbro that was something that Takara was going to do, or it just wasn't decided on yet. So basically, like Power Links Demolisher's box, like for like. Armada figures came with collectible cards. They had really cool box art. I think drawn by. It may have been drawn by the Dreamwave guys. I forget though if that's the case. And I know Energon was partially that way, but I think Armada may have been as well. Really cool art style. But anyway, they weren't sure what they wanted to do with him. So initially, for most of that wave's development. So, initially they wanted to recolor him, like Aaron Archer, who is the head of the Armada brand, initially wanted to color him like 6-shot. I don't know why, but that's something he initially thought about, but that wasn't decided on when it came to making the artwork. So his artwork, so like the figure on the back of the box, maybe not the figure on the back box, but at least the figure on the artwork on his box was just standard Demolisher because they didn't know what to do. They weren't sure what he would be until the decision was made for them when Takara gave him a super mode that was red in the TV show. And the reason he's red is because in the Japanese version of the show, his name was Ironhide. So they changed his color scheme to red to reference G1 Ironhide. Armada Thrust's new color scheme was decided long before they learned about this. So art was already commissioned. He already started production initially, like early production. They already produced a few batches of him in red, and then they learned, oh wait, we need to make Demolisher red to match the show. But we have another red figure in this wave. So they decided last second to change Thrust's color scheme to like an inverted version of G1 Dirge's color scheme, a fellow Conehead. Which makes sense, but it's just like, they did it so late that when Powerlink's Thrust came out in the US with his Dirge-like colors, the figure on the back of the box was red, the collector card was red, the box art was red, so it's kind of funny. Fast forward a little later in the year, Takara releases the red version as a US edition or whatever, which is just releasing a Western market figure in Japan. It's pretty much what they brand those as. Like they just take extra stock and give them like a sticker saying, "Oh, this is a USA edition," sort of thing, and give it like Japanese related stuff. But it's the same. It's just stickers or whatever added to it. There's no difference. So basically, it turns out that yeah, they did produce. The decision was made so late, they already started working on the European stock for Powerlink's Thrust. They already made a few batches of him in red. Because they made the change, like, dang it, we can't release these now. So they had them in a warehouse for a little bit. Then Takara was like, oh, you're not using these? I guess we'll buy them off you and we'll sell them. So they did, but they only bought some of them. The rest of the leftover stock sat in a warehouse for a few years until it weirdly first showed up in Israel. And then it showed up in like Italy, France, eventually the UK, until like at like discount stores and stuff until like 2006. So like 3 years later, it finally stopped showing up. Like that was the final sighting of them showing up. So it's just really, and to my knowledge, because this happened, I don't think the Dirge colored, I don't know if the Dirge colored Powerlink's Thrust ever came out in Europe. To my knowledge, from what I've heard, regular Armada Thrust barely even released in Europe either. So his repaint, even though it was meant to be released, because obviously they produced the red version, the red versions that exist come from the early European batch. Because of that happened, I don't know if that actually, if they ever changed it and they maybe just canceled the European release, which is weird. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, so I found out about this figure. I heard about him years ago, like a few years ago. Like just offhand, like someone talking about, oh, there's like multiple different colors of Armada Thrust or whatever, and how like the red one's the rare one. Like I heard about that years ago, but I probably looked into it and then thought, oh, that looks cool, and then I just forgot about it. And then this year I saw the Transformers Slag podcast, which is run by Protoman, a longtime Transformers community member. He used to pitch in for BotCon and stuff, So like he wrote some of the profiles and stuff they made. He used an image of that figure, like the box art of that figure, as like a thumbnail or whatever. Like, oh, that looks really cool. And then I was like, what's that again? And I looked into it. It's like, oh, it's the like early production weird version. Okay. I wouldn't mind trying to find one of those. I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind just trying to find one in person, but I'm like, and sure, I've seen rare stuff in person before. I don't live in Europe, but I find like rare European and Japanese stuff occasionally at the comic shops I visit. But I'm like, I could try to find this, but it would take forever. So I looked on eBay, and I was like, any good ones? There wasn't really that many. Most of them are boxed or carded ones, and those were like 100 something plus, and I was like, no. But there was one loose one for about 80-ish, and it came with not the correct minicon, it came with the regular, like the final release version of Powerlink's Thrust's minicon. I don't know why. Obviously whoever owned it before owned both, and they must have lost the early production version. Basically, the only difference is instead of like the off-white kind of gray color that they use for like the body and the missile, that's also used on the missiles on that Thrust. It's blue because that's what they changed that plastic color to for the final version, for the last minute updated version. So I have the minicon from the final release of Powerlink's Thrust, and then I just have the older incarnation of Powerlink's Thrust. So it's kind of weird. So yeah, I was like, okay, I guess I'll add this to my mom's list, thinking, oh, this would be a nice little option. I think it was a later edition. I already knew about it, but I was like, do I want to add this? Do I not? Because I knew it wasn't the best figure in the world. Like, he's a really cool looking figure, but Armada figures in general, with the exception of that Optimus Prime mold, the Deluxe Optimus, which Nemesis was repainted from, they're not very good when it comes to, like, they're built around a gimmick. Sometimes that gimmick can be really cool, other times it could be stupid lame, and it's just like, why did you sacrifice this figure being at least halfway decent for a gimmick that's not good at all? Unfortunately, Thrust is the latter category. His gimmick, I can't even describe it. It's so weird. It's so strange. I'm just like, why did you design it this way? It's like, did you run out of gimmick ideas, so you just had to do something stupid? Like, it's so strange. But I was like, well, I guess that is probably a good candidate for a Christmas item, is something that's really cool to me, but probably not good enough to be something I would want to spend my own money on. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, so the tidbits about like Takara taking some of the stock, the rest of the stock eventually ending up in warehouses and discount stores and stuff, and the other examples of like random color changes in the Armada line are things that I had to remove from that description to cut down on length. So that's unfortunate, but it's pretty interesting. Have I reached the end of that yet? No, I haven't. I at least want to reach the end of this grass here and then try to get the same length over there. I don't think I'll actually be able to do that, but I'll try. I'll probably run out before that. Oop. This is why I need to install fences, which I will do after this. Because I could have easily walked off the edge there. Yesterday, like initially I planned on saving some of my Christmas money for a little bit, because I found out about a new comic shop that I wanted to visit in another nearby city, but I found something really cool on eBay yesterday, and I was like, oh, that will go great with one of the things I recently got for Christmas. And it was already a good price, and you could send offers to it. So like, okay, I sent an offer to it for $10 less, and I got it. So I'm like, oh, cool. It's so I'm happy about that. It's a cool MSAA item. Mobile suit in action. It's an item that's so rare that it's like there's not a single good video on it on YouTube. There's barely even images of it. Like, you'll find images of it like when it was sold recently or whatever, but or like you'll find images of it on eBay because it's available, but nobody's made a video on it except for like one old SAA collector. He made like a video of it like 15 years ago when he got it, and it's just probably like just a slideshow of it, and I'm like, I don't even think he took it out. It's just the box. I'm like, that doesn't help. So it's kind of funny. So I already have 3 things lined up for the next haul picture. That probably won't happen until, I probably won't really make that picture until probably next February. What time is it? Okay. Yeah, so one of those things is technically something I got before Christmas, but after I made the last haul photo, I think. Initially I was like, do I want to include this in the Christmas items? But I'm like, technically this isn't, like, it was on one of the Christmas lists, but it wasn't bought by the person that had it on their Christmas list. So I'm like, okay. So technically it doesn't count. So like, I guess I'll leave this for next time. And then on Christmas Eve, I bought something on Mercari. So yeah, the same day I recorded that Zaku 1 footage, I got a cool transformer I've been looking for a while off Mercari for an okay deal. It was a figure that I once saw at my local comic shop before I knew it existed, and then I saw a video on it by that toy guy, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool repaint. And then I looked through my photos of my local comic shop that I have, and I realized, oh, it's right there for $40. I was like, dang it, because I looked it up and I'm like, oh, it's gotten more expensive since he made this video like 2 years ago, but when I first found it. When I first found out, I saw it and I knew it was gone already. Been gone for like probably half a year, so I'm like, dang it. So I've been looking ever since. And I got it for, I think, under 50, which is it's okay. It's definitely slightly more expensive than it would have been if I just bought it from the comic shop when I saw it. But I didn't know what it was, and in fact, I probably didn't even see it. I wasn't paying attention to it. He was in vehicle mode, and at the time, my local comic shop had tons of Transformers in vehicle mode. Just on the bottom of the glass case they have stuff in. So I was like, I just blended in with the rest of them. He wasn't even the subject of the photo I took. He was just in the background. So yeah, that's going to take a while. Okay, so let's see. This is, what is this? This is number 15. And it goes all the way out to 76. So that's 61 blocks. Yeah. I think. That's a lot. So, how many blocks is this out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That makes sense. So now 41 more blocks. There we go. So just place these. And I should have my length. There we go. Yeah, so I was happy to find... Okay. I was just about to say I was happy to find that item yesterday. I was basically looking at another Gundam MSI figure. It was semi-related. And I was like, okay, I know that I didn't add it to my eBay watch list because I was like, oh, I want to get this on Mandarake, and I still intend to do that. But I was like, might as well add it to this just in case. And then I saw, and I looked it up and added it, but then I also saw that was in the recommended next to it. I'm like, oh, that's a good price for that. It was like 40, 50 less than they normally go for. I'm like, oh, that's really good. So I was like, oh, I like that. And then I realized it's probably not been here for that long. Only one other person has liked this. It has offer available, so I'm like, oh, I guess I'll change my plans and consider getting this. Let's see, what's the progress on that Ricari item that I've mentioned? Because it should be coming into town today, hypothetically, and then arriving tomorrow. Yeah, it has come into town 3 hours ago. So yeah, it will be out for delivery tomorrow. It says January 1st, but I'm like, I don't think they can deliver things on January 1st, so January 31st makes more sense. And that seems to be what it's on track for. So that's nice. One final figure to end the year. This coming year will be pretty interesting for me. I think I've talked about how my life's been pretty stagnant for the last few years. Ever since I graduated high school, I haven't really done anything because my parents' attention's been going to my siblings instead. So I've just been sitting here, just playing video games for the last 3 years. Is that right? Well, no, like 2.5. But this coming year, they're finally going to look into helping me move on. But it's like, part of me is kind of scared about it because I'm like, well, I don't know. I haven't been prepped for this at all. Like, I haven't even been taught how to drive. So that, like, even though I like, for the one college, my local college, my local, like, main college anyway, that I applied to, I got into that. But I didn't go because it's like, well, I can't really drive there. And I can't expect them to, in their busy lives, to drive me there every day. Even though it's only like 20 minutes away. It's in downtown of the city. So I'm like, I don't expect like, so it's like I can't really go yet. I don't really know how to feel about online school because the only experience I've ever had with that would be during the pandemic, and I hated that. So I'm like, I don't know how well I would do it online school. I work by getting shown how to do things. Not like I lead by example or whatever. Or I learn by example. I can't just, it's hard for me to figure things out on my own. So with online school, it's like I don't see how that could work. Visual learner, I guess, would be the word there. Like, I did really good in school when I was there. I was usually the top of my class, like one of the top of my class. I don't know. It's like because I was one of the few people that bothered to pay attention to anything. I never studied because I didn't need to. I just paid attention enough to remember stuff. So I practically never studied in school, and I think about it. I just did well because I knew the subject, because I actually bothered to pay attention. The only problem with what I did in school is, at least with high school, I didn't take that many higher level classes, even though I easily could have. But so it's like even though I got into like the top 100, maybe even last, like top 80, I don't know. I didn't really see where my class, like personal rank or whatever was. And I was definitely like in the very top for the people that took the types of classes I took. It's like probably in the top 10. It's like I could have been ranked higher if I just took harder classes, which I probably easily could have done. But oh well. Can't do anything about it now. I was talking about this the other day. Like, it's kind of funny. It's like I did well enough in school to become part of the National Honor Society program. I don't know if that's a thing outside of the school I was at. I'm sure it was. Apparently my dad got into that when he was in school, and so did my sister. I don't know if my brother's school has that, but no matter what, he didn't get into it because he's not that good of a student even today. He's certainly gotten better this year, but last year, my God, and pretty much almost any other year before that, not historically been a good student. But it's like, basically, when you're part of the NHS, you have to, like, try to earn points or whatever for doing good things around the school or around the neighborhood or whatever. And you need to, like, have people sign off on it and stuff like that. And I did that. Like, I always only helped around the school. And I did that. I got, like, for, like, I forget when I got into it. I think it would have been the final semester of my junior year, I believe. So I got the points for that. I got the points for my first semester of senior, and I got majority of the points for my second semester as a senior. But I just kept helping teachers out. Like I would stay behind to push in chairs, stuff like that. Bring people things if they asked me to, stuff like that. But I wouldn't ask for points just because it's like I just felt rude to do that. Like that's the only reason I did it. So I would just do it anyway. But it's like if I actually did ask, hey, can I get points for all the things I've done, which I rarely ever did, I would have easily gotten enough points to pass with the NHS completed or whatever. But I didn't, because I didn't take credit for what I did. So that's another unfortunate thing, but can't really change that now. I just felt bad for asking. I'm not a very social person, so I don't like to ask for things. Or I feel bad for asking for things or whatever. Or just communicating with people in general. So like I've certainly gotten better at communication to a degree, but like I still am not very great at that. Like, oh, I can act perfectly normal if I'm surrounded by people I know. But it's like if I'm in an environment like a school, for instance, it's like I rarely talk. You might find that unbelievable because when I'm just talking to myself like this, I talk all the time. I'll talk about random subjects all the time because I guess that's just what autistic people do. Like I was watching a Rainbow Six Siege lore video yesterday or 2 days ago, and it brought up something funny. It was Rainbow Six Siege tells its lore through like item descriptions in like the battle passes or whatever. And apparently like it went over like one operator saying, oh, I asked Jaeger about trains or whatever. I have many regrets because he just because you can fill in the blanks, he just wouldn't shut up about trains after you asked him, because Jaeger is very much also an autistic person. So once you start to engage him in his special interest, he is not going to give up, to let it go. And I thought that detail was hilarious. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, I need to get more dirt. Yeah, it's like that's 2 double chests right there. That's all I've done. This is going to take forever. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. It was kind of funny. I remember one of the more interesting / embarrassing things that happened to me in high school was I loved sociology and psychology class. I took, I think, both honors for those. One of the few honors classes I took. And one of the things we had to do in one of those classes, I forget which one, probably psychology, because that would make sense. Yeah, probably psychology. We had to make like a presentation or something about like disorders, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll go with with autism or whatever, because like I never made that clear, but it's like, oh yeah, I have this, so I have an interest in actually learning about it more. But it turns out, even though people weren't supposed to do like multiples of it, somehow it was through miscommunication or whatever, I and someone else did it too. So the person who also took that already went. I was like, oh god. So I did the presentation again, and I just flipping like broke down out of nervousness or whatever. It was so like unfortunate. Because it was just like at that point it's like I could have just asked, could I just not go? It's like I can't do this. What's the point of me presenting if they've already gone and learned about this because of someone else's presentation, and they probably did a better job than me? So it's like, but I did it anyway. So yeah, that was unfortunate. But it was interesting to look into it because it's just like, oh, that's why I do that. I didn't realize that was a beyond me thing. I thought that was funny. I'm like, oh, that's actually, like, I saw so many similarities. I'm like, what? I didn't realize that it had that much of an effect on me. Like, I have the type of autism where it's like, from a glance you would not be able to tell, like, easily. It's like, I just, like, just not a social person, and I get obsessed with things. Like, that's about it. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm negatively affected at all. In some cases, that can be beneficial, even, in certain, like, fields. But like, sometimes it's more beneficial to be like this. Like, some people look for that. But it's like, where was I going with this? So it was just interesting to look into it because it's like, oh, that explains why I do some of these things. Like, one funny one that I learned about was, like, autistic people sometimes, like, when they get nervous or whatever, or annoyed or stressed or whatever, put, like, their tongue in their cheek. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do that. Or at least I did. I haven't done it in years. Probably because I realized, oh wait, I don't want to choreograph that, do I? So I eventually just grew out of that, but it's kind of funny that I think, oh, that's why I do that. Apparently that's just a common thing that your brain flipping makes you do if you're like me. So I was like, that's... what? I thought that was funny. I was like, why is that a thing? What? Okay. Like, that's such a weird behavior to be tied to that. And that's not just like a one-off thing. Like, that's apparently common enough that it's in the dang, like, citations and stuff. That was weird. Like, I thought that was very funny and strange. It's like, that's a strange thing to be common. To be fair, I don't really know why I did it either. It's just something I did, and now I know why. It's because I guess a lot of people like me do that, or did that. I just thought that was funny. It is very interesting to research, like, if you have a condition or you've been aware of it. Like, some people don't even know. Like, it's always funny to me when I realize it's like, oh, this person that I've watched or whatever finally realized, oh, they're autistic, and I'm like, I had no idea this person, like, I probably could have guessed that this person was like me, but apparently they didn't know. Like, M&J TV, for instance, is autistic apparently, and he only discovered that like a year ago, and I'm just like, now I think about it, that's not surprising at all. You run a Pokemon YouTube channel, which means that your hyper interest is Pokemon, and has been for the last 25 years. So I thought that, I was like, in hindsight, that should have been obvious to you. So it's just kind of funny. I always find it funny when I hear a story about someone discovering, it's like, oh wait. It's like, I feel like a lot of collectors and stuff, not all of them, don't miss the PlayStation holiday sale. I get it, but I'm not buying any games right now on PlayStation. It's like, let's probably put these in my inventory. Put these in the hotbar. But it's like, I feel like a good amount of collectors are probably autistic. It's like, not all, like, I wouldn't say all of them. Like, people that end up doing this anyway, sometimes, but it's just like, I feel like a good amount of people with like Asperger's, for instance, which I have, or high functioning autism, tend to end up like I do. Like I did. So it's like, apparently sometimes my sister, like, for whatever reason, like in the last year or two, she decided, I'm going to read the autism Reddit or whatever, probably just to see like how similar are they to me. I think I talked about this last stream. I remember, yeah, I did talk about this. I'm gonna talk about it again. And I never showed it to her, dang it, I forgot. Because I think she left town yesterday. Or maybe it was today, actually. I remember, like, earlier this month I found for like a YouTube, like, suggested ad or whatever. Like, not like an ad that played on a YouTube video, but an ad in like the recommended feed. This like random website, who knows if it's something real, because YouTube is infested with AI generated ads now. And I'm like, I can't tell these things, like, I know for a fact the ad is fake, but I'm like, I don't know if the product itself is. It's confusing. I'm like, who knows if the weird mobile game they're trying to advertise to me is even real. Can't really trust it if it's being, like, said by an AI generated voice. Hello. I was just talking about, like, a random funny ad I saw once. And it was for like an ugly sweater or whatever website for Christmas. And it used, like, I don't know if you're familiar with Spooktober memes. It used it used a picture of the skeleton holding like the two like MG like 34s, and then just on like an orange sweater with like flames in the background, and it just had autism written on it. And I was like, one, I don't know if this product exists, but two, if it does, I'm like, I don't know if I should share this to my sister, because I feel like she would buy it for me as a joke. So I just thought that was funny. Like, visually it was a very funny looking clothing item. If it even really exists. wonder if this guy's still here. We just said hi and then went silent. I guess so. You've seen ads much worse? Like, to be fair, it wasn't that bad. And I mean like an ad, like a YouTube recommended ad, not an ad like a video. I've seen plenty of annoying AI generated ads playing in front of videos. I've seen plenty. I'm like, I can easily tell just instantly that they're like fake items and stuff, or at least it's like I was talking about. It's like I can't tell if this is like I can tell that the video is fake. I can tell the voice is fake easily, but I'm like I can't tell if the actual product doesn't exist. Like I don't know because it's hard to tell if it's a generated version of it in a video. Either way, it's like I don't think AI generating an advertisement is a good way to sell things because no one's going to buy something they might not even know exists. Because they can easily tell it doesn't exist, at least in the video. It's kind of crazy how far AI has gotten within the last, like, 12 months. Barely heard about it much until this year, and like sure I heard about it, but not like to this degree. Now every company's signing like billion-dollar deals to use AI or whatever, and forcing people to use it in the workplace and stuff like that. I'm just like, jeez. If creativity wasn't getting worse already. Working on my end base. I combined the word end and on in the same sentence, or same word. On. that is weird. Why does my brain do that sometimes? I guess I'm just talking faster than my brain can think of sentences, I guess. Would be a way to describe that. Yeah, it's like they might use AI to advertise the product, but because it's an obvious AI generation, I'm like, I can't tell if this is actually a real product, or if I click on this link, you're gonna give me a virus. So like, I feel like AI generating an ad is a terrible thing to do because one, it's false advertising, and two, it's sketchy. Very sketchy. So it just seems like not a good idea. People will be more willing to buy your thing if you actually put effort into your advertisement. And show that it actually exists. There's just been so many fake advertisements going around on YouTube recently that's just like, most of this stuff I can't even, like, unless it's like a super obvious, like, thing, like a series or cheap kids toy or something. It's like, most of the time, a lot of these ads are like, I can't even tell if this actually exists. I guess I ate through all the bread. Have I seen... I don't really watch YouTube Shorts too much And anytime I have, I've never seen an ad. They're insane. Like, I don't know, I'm not a short form content guy for the most part. Like, the only YouTube shorts I'll ever watch are by people I've watched before, generally. That's about it. Like, I don't use... Outside of YouTube, I don't use social media at all. I don't use TikTok, don't use Instagram, don't use whatever. Facebook. Twitter. I don't use those things. It's not because I like stopped using them, I never have. Because I just don't see the point. Okay. Do I want to use that many grass blocks? At least fill in this line. So what do you mean, what do I do? Time to grab more grass block or dirt blocks. Gotta check. Is there any more down here? No, no, okay. If I'm not in social media, like, well, I watch YouTube videos, play games, that's about it. Like I said, outside of YouTube, I don't use social media. YouTube is the only one I use. If you can even count it as that, because it's not really, it doesn't really work the same way as some of those other things do. Okay. Why is there so few in here? Weird. I thought there would have been more in there. Okay. Saw there may be another comment, but I didn't see it. What do I need grass for? Working on the platform that I'm making. Wait, dang it. Oh, I can't, I'll just let those despawn. I don't... I'll go this way. Just to make the platform look nice. I'm not in the overworld. It doesn't just naturally exist. I kinda have to grab it. Lag spike. That's a good amount of wheat. So yeah, I'm populating all of that with grass. And there's 2 of these. I went over past that. Yeah, I had to gather all this stuff. It didn't spawn like this. Replace all the end stone with dirt, and eventually the grass spread. Placed a bunch of saplings. Made a lower platform that took forever to work on. So the result of the last 4 months, I think. And this is only the start, because I want to continue working on this for the next... I don't know, this is probably going to be the thing I'm going to work on for the rest of this world's life, probably. The end project has been about... since August, at least. There's a map of the main end island, but the lower platform. You can see the main end island is mapped out by the fences all around it. Out this way, that's the spawn area there. Out this way is a minecart track to the outer end island, so there isn't anything out there. That's just where I gathered all of the end stone I used to build the lower platform, even though now I have so much end stone from mining out just this underneath area. Just this inside area that it's like, I probably didn't even need to do that. At least not like half that work. And then I've been working on the platform over here. And I've done all of this without beacons. Or even an elytra either. I haven't gone out to grab one. I have a to-do list, which is very long. And probably, I don't know if I'll do all this stuff. I might even do more things beyond that, but this is my super project that I'm going to be working on for the next year. Probably more. It takes forever just to do this much. And then I have a pretty cool overworld as well. Don't really have much in the nether beyond just a gigantic minecart track out to where I mine things, I guess. It's like 1,800 blocks long. It eventually gets out, like, once you get to go through the portal at the end of it, you're at like 30,000+ blocks away from spawn. Dang it. I forgot. There we go. The downside to not having any open inventory space. Like, for my overworld, like, some good examples would be like, oh, I made an underwater base. Not that it's important at all, I just thought it would be cool. I drained an ocean monument. I made a gigantic pyramid. Stuff like that. Bunch of random things. All without destroying the environment that much. Okay, now what to do with all this? I could work on the other area, I guess. Work on the other side. And I have done this on my own. Because I have way too much time on my hands. So yeah, there's glow squids down here. Because they actually do naturally spawn in the end if the conditions are met. They just, by oversight, I'm guessing, just at a low level, like this is as low as you can get. Beyond this is the void, and you can't place blocks under this. If you have water, and then a roof over it, they'll eventually spawn. And I've name tagged about 18 of them. So that they won't despawn. I don't know if they'll ever remove that glitch. They might. I don't see why they would, but they could. So I've name tagged them so they will stay. That's a bug in Bedrock Edition, by the way. I don't know if that's the same for Java Edition. Before playing Bedrock Edition, technically I've been playing Bedrock Edition for like 13 years. But But on PlayStation, anyway, I played PS4 edition from 2018 to whenever they replaced it. Because I have an account that dates back to before Bedrock came out on PlayStation, I can still play Legacy Console through the Editions button. Apparently, people who buy the game now don't get the Editions button. It's like it's a thing coded into the game. To where, like, oh, you have to have owned the game before a certain date and then you'll be able to access this button, which I'm just like, that's just kind of weird. It's probably just because they don't want you playing the other version. But they let you have access to it if you had access to it. So, already, so it's just a little strange. Part of me is thinking, like, once I finish this project, whenever the heck that is, that could be like a year and a half from now, because this is going to take forever. I might try to make a cool world in Minecraft PlayStation 4 edition, but that's a long way away, and last time I revisited it, I was just like, this seems a lot more clunky than I remembered it being. There's something about the movement in this version that feels a little bit more smooth. Not the game's run, how the game runs itself. The other version is definitely better optimized, but there's just something about, I just felt slower. I don't know why. How far am I to the edge? Can I do this? I can get pretty dang close if I can't. Need to be careful because I could easily jump off into the the abyss if I'm not paying attention. Thankfully, I haven't had that happen. I usually just fall if I fall off the cliff I made, but it's usually when if I die in the end, it's usually because of that, not falling into the void. But be a little careful. I might keep that. I'll remove that if I need to. Yeah, like, what I'm doing in this stream today is just showcasing the start of this process. And maybe I'll continue working on it, a different one later next year, but I'll probably do most of this off camera because it's just way too time consuming and redundant. It's just me doing the same thing over and over again. probably near the end of this stream, I'll travel out to the place where I'm gathering the dirt from to show off what that looks like. Have I played multiplayer? Yes. I can't play it right now because I don't have PS Plus, which is like, I don't know if you know what Xbox Live is, since you've only ever played Minecraft on mobile. But basically, it's like, the PlayStation Plus is like Xbox Live, so something you have to pay like every year to play online on consoles. Now every console has that, but before, like Nintendo, you didn't have to pay for online before. Now you do. Yeah, I guess you have had to do that now for, like, you know, you've had to do that now for 7 years. Let's see, 2018. When was that? Was that 7 years ago? Almost 8 years ago? Yeah, almost 8 years ago, because we're gonna be coming up on 2026 in 2 days. And then PlayStation introduced you had to pay for online. Well, for most games, anyway. There's some games you don't have to, but for most games, Minecraft being one of them, when they came out with the PS4 12 years ago. I just don't have that subscription right now, so I can't play online if I wanted to, which, in Minecraft, anyway. Not that I'd want to, because this is my solo world. This is the world I do things only by myself. So... you know what? I should probably place some grass blocks in here to kickstart the growth process. Because it would take forever to grow this if I just left it to those at the very edge over there. And then once I place all this grass, I'll probably gather more. Like, I don't know if I'll expand these platforms. If I do, that's not going to be for a while, because it already took so long just to build them already. I'll start building things. I don't know if you're still here, but basically I had an idea. Whenever I get another stream that has a decent amount of viewers, I don't know if that'll ever happen again, but if it ever did, I would say something like, oh, like once I complete the platforms, like with grass and stuff, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to make an idea board. Idea. But, make an idea board, and I would ask people, what do you think I should build? Because I don't have enough ideas to fill this space. And I'm not the best builder in the world, so giving me ideas, and then I guess and what you think you'd want me to build it out of and stuff, would be kind of cool. Because there's a downside to making a world all by yourself. If you're not that creative, like I'm not super duper creative, I guess, it's like you're just limited to one person's vision. Where it's like, in a multiplayer world, they can be a lot more interesting because you get to see what multiple people's building styles are like and what multiple people think of, and see different skill levels and stuff like that. Whereas like with this, it's just me. So at least with that, it's like, oh, I can get kind of like that idea because I'll have input from multiple people. Even if it's just me building it. It's me interpreting an idea that someone else had. But no point of talking about an idea board when I only have like barely anybody here to listen to it. And I'm not even ready to make the idea board yet because I need to finish placing all the dirt first. There we go. Should probably get more torches. That would probably help the grass grow a little faster. I don't know. I gathered all this dirt yesterday, but it all depends on if I can find, like, but this is barely enough for even one of these, so I have to do this twice, so it will take a while, but probably won't be able to finish this for another month at least. Because I don't just play Minecraft all the time. I spend my time with other things too, so I can only work on this, like, I only decide to work on this like maybe once or twice a week. Because I'll eventually get bored of doing the same thing over and over again. How long have I been streaming? Like 2 hours now? Oh yeah, I need to charge my phone. Anything interesting go up as videos today? Not seeing much. No. It's not really gonna make it that much easier. It's just making it quicker to move around. It's not going to speed up me breaking locks. It's like, I guess if I got a beacon, I could do that, but I don't think it speeds it up that much quicker. Plus, I think it would be cool to, like, once I finish up this project even more, it would be cooler to finally get an Elytra, so I can then fly around it for the first time. I think in a more completed state, I think would be more interesting. Interesting. I guess I'll place these blocks over here. Let's see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Headset's making me hot. Yeah, I feel like I should have enough to at least do that. Hmm. Didn't see anything new. Oh. Do I watch Transformers? Yes. I was talking about Transformers earlier in this stream. Just be a random thing to bring up. Unless you went back and listened to what I talked about. I think I just barely have enough. Who is my favorite character? That's hard to say because there's thousands of them. Like, I don't know. I never really think about it. Like, I guess like I have personal favorites, but like not for any like particular reason. They're just like, oh, I think he looks cool, or he has a cool backstory or gimmick, or he's just a cool character. But like, my favorite character is probably like not very obvious picks. Probably characters you wouldn't know. Dang it, I ran out. Just a little too short. I don't think I have any more. Like, what's your experience with Transformers? Because like, if you list like what series you like or whatever, I could say who my favorite character is from that. But if you're very surface level, then you would have no idea what I'm talking about. The movies. Is that just your only experience with Transformers? Because like from the movies themselves, I don't really know how to feel about many of the characters from the Transformers movies. Like, it's like I like Bumblebee, but everyone does. I don't know. It's like they don't really get that fleshed out in the movies, to be honest. To be fair, they rarely get fleshed out in general, outside like the comic books. Yeah, I don't have any more dirt. I have those two, but that's it, and that's not enough. So let's expand the map. Is that it? A little bit of turn on that one. There we go. I could say what like my favorite figures from the movies are, but I wouldn't be able to say like what my favorite character is. Okay, so let's grab this one, this one, this one, and this one. I think that's all I would need, if I even need this many. Like I remember in high school, I remember talking about like, oh, these are the new Transformers coming out next year. Apparently, like we had like leak listings. Okay, no, I just need these two maps because yeah, it's not that big. Okay, I didn't need these two. There we go. That's it. Okay. So I didn't need these ones. And like I brought up Blitzwing. It's like this was 2021, I think is when I was talking about this. And Transformers Legacy Blitzwing came out in 2022. It's like, oh, we're gonna get a new Blitzwing next year, and he thought I was referring to the character from the Bumblebee movie, the guy that takes like that damages Bumblebee's voice box at the beginning, and I'm like, that's not who I'm referring to. Same name but completely different character. That's a common thing with Transformers. Very common thing. Transformers has had so many iterations, and yet the same names get used over and over again. That there's dozens of characters with the same name. There we go. Yeah, I don't have that much dirt. I need to fill in all the rest of that. What do you mean, why is that a thing? Are you talking about like why are there so many Transformers with the same name? Or different versions of the same character in a lot more cases? Like sometimes there's just completely different characters with the same name. Other cases, there's just different iterations of the character. Well, one, Transformers has been a thing for 41 years. In order to stay relevant for that amount of time, they have to like reboot itself over and over and over again. There's probably like over 10 different iterations of Transformers. And two, like people like certain characters, so they want them to see them again, so you get different incarnations of the characters. Or another thing, they need to maintain the trademark for the name, so they use the name on other things. So like for instance, Knockout. Knockout was first used on, I think, a Micromaster, which is like a little tiny little figure from like 1988 or so. Barely anybody knows that character because no one cares about him. Then in the 2000s, they probably used him for a Minicon, used that name. Then they used it again for some random little figure that came out with the movies, who turned into like a motorcycle or something, and then finally they landed on the cool car character from Transformers Prime. And he's pretty much been that character ever since. That's where that name is now. Like, Barricade. If you're familiar with the movies, you probably know who that is. The Decepticon police car. That name was first used on another Micromaster who turned into like a little tiny construction vehicle for whatever reason. I guess it makes sense. You barricade off an area you're working construction on, so people don't enter a dangerous area. But then eventually, it became him, and that's who, like that name's been used for that character ever since. Blackout. Same deal. Like, it's not really, like, from someone who doesn't, like, understand it at all, it's kind of confusing, but, like, it's very simple once you get it. Like, it makes perfect sense when you think of the whole context of the entire franchise. It's been around since 1984. 41 years ago. Like, of course you're gonna have to, like, and sometimes certain characters, they lose the trademark, so they have to call them something else. Like in the early 2000s, from like 2002 to 2007, like 2006. I guess in 2006. 2006 was the first time a Bumblebee figure had been released since like 89 or 90. Because, or actually no, since like 1994, 95. Like it'd been about 11 years since the last Bumblebee figure. And the whole reason for that is because the main Transformers series released in the mid-90s was Beast Wars. So robots that turn into animals. They couldn't name a character Bumblebee in that series because you can't name a figure that turns into a Bumblebee Bumblebee. You can't do that. So they just couldn't use that name. And they didn't use it for something else like Machine Wars. And so they lost that trademark, which is basically the legal right to use a certain name for a product, if you don't know what a trademark is. You know, like the circle with like an R through it, or in the center of it, or whatever, that's always next to like names on products? That's a trademark logo. It's denoting that the company owns this name, or this phrase, or whatever. This noun. So from the early 2000s to when that movie came out, or to just before the movie came out, instead of Bumblebee, you had Hotshot, who was he wasn't exactly Bumblebee. He was like Bumblebee and Hot Rod combined, characterization-wise. But initially they wanted him to be Bumblebee, but they didn't. They couldn't do that. Okay, I guess I'll gather some wheat. Then after I do this and make bread, I will go out to the overworld to show where I get the dirt from. And I'll probably end the stream because I have nothing else to do. Maybe I'll grab a tiny bit of dirt just to fill in that little gap. So I should grab a shovel. Oop, didn't mean to break that one. What do you mean, which version? It's in the title of the stream, and I've said it multiple times. I'm playing Minecraft Bedrock Edition on the PlayStation 4. So it's technically the same version that's on phones. Because technically, Minecraft Bedrock Edition is Minecraft Pocket Edition. They just rebranded it like 9 years ago. It's the version of Minecraft that allows people to play together from consoles, phones, and like it's the cross-compatible version of Minecraft, not the just restricted to computers version. Okay, that should make 20 pieces of bread. Well, Minecraft Bedrock can't be anything that isn't the current version. So the latest version. Only Minecraft Java can go back officially to previous versions. You can technically do it, but you need a computer. You need Minecraft Bedrock on a computer for that, and you can only launch older versions of Minecraft Bedrock / Pocket Edition through like modded launchers or whatever. You can't. Unfortunately, they don't have a official way to do that for the Bedrock Edition. Unfortunately, because it'd be like, oh, it'd be really cool to go back to like the version I first played from like 2012, but what am I hearing outside? But that you can't do that. Let's make some shovels. Let's grab a sword. Yeah, I have old textures on. That's the thing you can do. I have old textures on and I have lighting low because I prefer it. Also, I don't have very complex builds, so it's like if I have it look like this, like I could make builds look like they're from like Minecraft beta or something. I first found out Minecraft pretty much when everyone my age did, which was like mid to late 2011 or so. That's when I first found out about Minecraft. I didn't play it until 2012, I think. Like the first version I ever played was Minecraft Lite, which was and then I quickly bought Minecraft Pocket Edition around the time it came out. Minecraft Lite was a light version of, it was a free, super simplified version of Minecraft Pocket Edition, which isn't saying much because Minecraft Pocket Edition was stupid simple when it first came out. Now, I'm literally technically playing it right now, so it's just as good as Java Edition now. Though it has some weird bugs and stuff, but it may not be as well coded though as the Java version. Doesn't run as well, but yeah, I figured. But yeah, so I don't know if you can still find. Of course, the instant I go into the overworld, someone else comes and asks if they want to play, or they can play. I feel like I should add into the description every time I do one of these streams, solo world. Not to be rude or anything, but it's like, maybe someday I would make a separate world for people to join once I have PlayStation Plus again, but at the moment, this is my world and my world alone. So I guess I'll showcase my overworld a little bit. because I've been spending the last few hours in the end placing grass and stuff. So here we have a jungle village that I made. Jungle villages don't naturally exist. I built this. But jungle villagers do. So you can only get them by either breeding villagers in a jungle or what I did, which is having a zombie villager spawn in a jungle, and there'll be a jungle villager, and converting them. Curing them, I think would be the more correct, like, actual term. This is the building with all the workstations. Well, most of them. Oh. I haven't really traded with any of these guys. I just made it just for fun. I once had a lightning strike these pigs, so I once had zombie pigmen in this pen. I was wondering where the music was. I've already been through this multiple times in other streams, so I'll just do a super simple tour. I don't even know if anyone's even still here, because for all I know, that one could just be me looking at the chat, so. It's like I have to keep asking, is someone there? Because it's like, I don't know, it doesn't tell me. I have a lighthouse over there that actually works. I have, you probably looked at this, but I have a stupid amount of skeleton horses. I've probably had these things jump scare me like a dozen times. Maybe not a dozen, maybe like 6, 7 times. 5, 6 times. Most of these are name tagged, though a few of them are not, because they're from more recent. Lightning strike. I don't even know where they come from half the time. This is like most of them, but there's still like 2 full sets out there that aren't over here. We have the Minecraft logo, reminiscent of the old console tutorial world, though unlike that, it's not really 3-dimensional. I wonder when I'll see a pink sheep again. I only saw one once, and I left the world when I saw it, so I saw one over here before. It was before they added the new wolf types, so now it's like, yeah, it was like right here. But it's like, a wolf, I don't know if can wolves spawn in this biome? I know they can spawn in like a regular like forest biome, maybe not plains biome. So maybe they would be more safe over here, but now there's jungle wolves, so it's like I couldn't bring it over there, it would be murdered, so it's kind of unnecessary to. In fact, that skeleton horse pen was once a sheep pen. All the sheep died because of wolves. I've only seen one once in this world anyway. I feel like I've seen one before on another one, but they're very rare for a reason. It's an iron farm. This is how I fund my excessive use of iron tools. At one point this was filled entirely with iron block stacks in this area. Like, these were all stacks before, and I've used them up during the construction of multiple projects. There's even iron in the hopper. Yeah, here's the sheep farm that I moved. I should say, replace that one with, because all the other ones died. I didn't move them over here. There's a roller coaster to an abandoned mine shaft. That's about it. It's just a cool scenic route. That's about it. There's nothing that special about it. Doesn't really go anywhere, really. Just a cool abandoned mine shaft in a gigantic big hole that I thought looked really cool. I'm not going to showcase that today. Let's get in the boat. There's my treehouse. The music is very loud. There's the iron golem that spawned from this village. There's a diving board, so I can jump in the water. I used to fish from here. Maybe I should go this way. He's damaged. So there's the light switch to turn on the lighthouse. It's a bit of a laggy boat ride. I feel like it got more buggy lately. It's very jittery. Here's the copper creeper. I had to sit here, and I didn't really know how oxidation worked, so I constructed it out of copper blocks that I mined from the mine under my base that I spawned in from coming from the end. And then I just sat here for hours just watching it age. Took forever. My turtle pen that I used to get turtle shell helmets. They've all clumped into a corner for whatever reason. And here is the drained ocean monument I talked about. I feel like this would be smoother if I just swam at this point. I have a minecart track leading to it that's right next to that tree farm over there that you can see under the Minecraft logo. I drained this with sponges. I built a massive wall and drained it with sponges. Like I built the circle around it. And I drained it with sponges that I got from raiding a different ocean monument. Two more sets of skeleton horses can be found here. Here's the leftovers from one set. And then there's another set down here somewhere. There's one. Don't ask me how they spawned underwater, I don't know. And this isn't the only set. Like there's probably, like, obviously they set in spawns of 4, or they spawn in sets of 4. Basically, when a skeleton gets struck by lightning, 4 skeleton horse riders spawn in its place. I don't know how this happens. I don't know how those ones got here, because I never saw. I had this place lit up, so I don't know where a skeleton could have come from to get struck by lightning in the first place. And then I don't know how they spawned, how one spawned underwater and 2 got struck by lightning underwater. And this has happened 2 more times, maybe 3 more times beyond this. It's ridiculous how often it's occurred, and I don't get it. We have Sands and Papyrus, that's their names. Because all of the ones that have name tags have joke names. Skeleton-related pun names. You get to see a nice look at night. I would turn on vibrant visuals if I could do that with older textures, but you can't do that. Also, I don't want my PS4 to explode. Because this thing is reaching 8 years old and it will heat up and turn into a jet engine if I turn that on. In fact, I think this is the only game I can play where the fan doesn't go crazy. I don't know if it's just because it always did that, or it's just an old console now that's been used so often, but yeah. Here's the underwater base. You have the nature domes, which are just domes with trees in them, and one of them has a cool little watchtower that you might see like a national park ranger or something use. So that's the entrance area. Here's another little station or something, and then those two are connected by a railway track, and then this is a walkway to the actual base, to like the research station, and then there's the Arctic Dome there. Which is populated by snow golems, and there's a ocean monument there, which I think that's the one I raided to get the sponges from, I believe. Unless there's a third one around here somewhere that I don't know about. I'm pretty sure it's that one. So I'm not going to tour that, I'll just go through here. I definitely need to decorate this a bit more. It's like that's just a super dark area. Because I didn't place torches on the ground because I thought it would look weird. So I need to find a good reason to have lights in there. I thought about chandeliers, but I was just like, it's not an even, I can't find like an even place to put it, so it wouldn't look nice to me. Things rarely spawn here anyway, even though they can. I've had a creeper spawn in here once. I made the drained ocean monument last year, and then I made this at the start of this year. I didn't know vibrant visuals was kind of a thing, but I just thought, oh, it'd be cool. Like, imagine if there was like shaders or whatever. I could have there'd be like light coming through here. I thought that would be really cool, just like as an imaginary thing. But turns out I can do that now. Station 2. It's nighttime, so you can barely even see anything out there. So this is where the final set of weird skeleton horses is. You can barely see him over my my cursor there, reticle or whatever. You can see the horse and the skeleton there. There's probably 3 or 4 down there, because obviously they spawn in sets of 4. I don't know how the heck they get here. How did it spawn underwater? I don't know. I wonder if, can I see them from here? Kinda, yeah, you can see the horse. Can I see it better? Yeah, that you can see him right there. I'm sure there's more, they've just wandered about. They spawned when I was constructing this. Because I construct it and then I drain it. Actually, do I want to sleep yet? I don't know if I do. We have a cobblestone generator, furnaces, tons of chests, so the staple of my bases. Every base has this. Lava farm, some wheat, tons of chests filled with random resources. The top, these ones are more filled with random stuff. Like lots of cobblestone, lots of deep slate, tons of like deep slate tough, tons of materials I've mined from underneath here. Tons of slime blocks because I can't escape slime chunks. There's some of the sponges I used. You'll see where that stuff came from in a second. There's a cool view of the ocean monument there. Snow golem, so I can harvest snow. There's a pumpkin farm right there, because the snow golems tend to die sometimes, so I need to be able to replace them. These areas are made of like dark glass, so it's dark in there. Not really. I don't really know how to use redstone at all. Very basic. I would never bother to look into that. Like, one of the buildings that I've actually thought about to populate the things I've been working on in the end is a note block build. Like a note block building, which will have like examples of every block that changes the tune of a note block, and then I'll experiment and try to make a song out of note blocks. Within like a giant, the building will look like a giant note block or something. That's something I thought about. So I have these guys to protect these guys because slimes used to spawn in here. They probably still do. So, and they would die. So, because snow golems can't kill things. Snowballs don't do any damage. So, I haven't seen a nautilus yet. Thankfully, they weren't in the game when I built this, because it was already annoying enough to deal with. It was already annoying enough to deal with tridents, with drowns with tridents. It's even worse, probably, to deal with them on top of nautiluses. So here we have the underground facility. Initially, I wanted to make this like a planetary like solar system observatory, but I eventually converted it into a theme park. I did like all this work for it, and I was like, you know what? I'll actually decide to make it into something I can actually walk around in instead of just stare at. So you can see like, oh, like the black roof and the black like outline was to simulate like space, and this like cross section was supposed to be the mounting points for the planets. What do you mean? Do you want to see what? Then I made areas themed around. The whole reason I even went to the end in the first place was to get endstone and stuff for this area here. Then I made another area, a cool little roller coaster, and a water park, and then just a random castle, because why not? Because there's not 4 dimensions in the game. And that's a working lazy river. Can you see the boat? Yeah, you could see something. I see something going on in there. Yeah, you see the. Pay attention. You see the boat with the slime in it. He's going under that little bridge right now. He goes around. You see, there he is. He goes around this whole thing. Oh yeah, Nautilus. I need to go in unloaded chunks to get those? It's kind of strange, because you would just think they would just spawn in oceans no matter what, so I guess maybe I have to go to a new one? Here's an underwater cave. Glow squids live in here. Something I stumbled upon. There's actually another underwater cave in the Drained Ocean Monument as well. I didn't really look at that. It's pretty neat. Yeah, I dug all of this out. A good amount of this was deep slate and tough and all those super lower earth materials that are super annoying to mine. I mined all of this without a beacon, with just iron pickaxes. This took like a good 2 months of off and on work. It took forever. And when I say off and on work, it'd be like, oh, I'd spend like the entire day doing just digging. Oh, Jesus. I hate these things. So you can see where I got all the slime blocks from, because these are everywhere. I don't know why. A good like majority of the underground sections I've been in the overworld. Here's a better look at the boat. He is on this road, this ride for eternity. It's like Mr. Bones' Wild Ride. It never ends. He's just going to be going through this all the time. He is stuck here. He's imprisoned in that boat. He is name tagged. I should probably just kill those slimes. Glow squids tend to spawn in the pool. There's a diving board, a hot tub that works because there's magma blocks. Water slide, which you're not supposed to go up this way. You're supposed to go up with the ladder. And then the best part is the roller coaster. need to hit the switch on the way back. There we go, so that's off, so stop when we go back around again. There we go. One did go up the I was like, they're weirdly close. Yep, they're going up it. That's really funny. Because I was like, did they go up? Did they go up the bubble elevator? They did. That's pretty funny. For whatever reason, I was thinking that these were jungle stairs. I don't know why. It's like that they're obviously spruce stairs. I don't know what I was thinking. Here's a area cut out for if I ever want to expand this, so like the hallway will branch off and go this way too, and maybe I'll make that observatory eventually some other time. Just spend another 2 months working on it, but maybe I'll do that when I have a beacon so it won't be as annoying. Stop? Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm hearing that lava from here? Okay. You still here? 'Cause I have no idea. Okay. My brother came back home, so I had to mute until he went in his room. It's been so long that it's now daytime. Now I guess I will go to my secondary base. Wait, is the sun setting or just rising? I think it's just rising. No, it's setting. It's been so long that I down there that a whole day passed? Jeez. Just watch it disappear under the ocean. It's kind of the funny thing, it's like you can still see the sun under the water. Well, I'm older than you. Some classic Minecraft music coming in. I guess the nice thing about playing, if I ever made a new world on Minecraft PS4 edition, is it would just be the old Minecraft music. That's it. You're 15? I assume you've had your birthday by now, obviously, because it's the second to last day of the year. Because I'm a... It doesn't matter if I say it or not. Because I'm not really that old. Like, in not too long, I'll be 21 years old. So, I'm a young adult. It's just a random Enderman. A random guy. What's he doing down there? Just picking up blocks or something. So we have, you ever wondered why there's the, I don't know if you know about this, the dinosaur that like jumps over like cacti and stuff when you run out of internet on Google? I guess they probably have that turned off on like school computers. Nowadays anyway. The reason I have the no internet dinosaur here, I don't know what that game's actually called, is because I created this world because there was a few hours sometime last year that I didn't have any internet. It ran out, the internet went out for a few hours, so I was like, oh, well, the only game I can play is Minecraft, so I created a new world, and that's the whole reason this world exists. And I've had a lot of fun over the last year and a half with this world. And I look forward to playing it for at least another year and a half. I think, yeah, that's the only little bit of pixel art I have on this world. A lot of my previous survival worlds I made pixel art, and then I have a whole creative world dedicated to it. When I'm not playing this world, I'm like, there was earlier this year, like I spent like a whole month like creating like multiple pixel arts a day, just constantly finding new ones I wanted to build, but that's slowed down a little bit. That's the nice thing about living in the end. You get to appreciate this music more. Because it's not playing all the dang time. Are you asking what my nether looks like, or what the nether looks like in general? I kind of want this track to continue to end first before I go into the nether. Is that a baby zombie? No, that's a parrot. Oh yeah, I'll talk about that. So you see, this is where the the jungle ends, and this is where the plains biome begins. You can see the difference in grass color here. However, I have a little chicken farm or whatever, like an egg collector up here. And the ocelots came all the way up the hill to try to kill these. But they can't. Because one, there's a slab here, so they can't get on top of it. And even if they could get on top of this chest, I don't think they can hit them through that. But they still want to kill them anyway. Their pathfinding just made them come here. They sit here all day long trying to kill these, but they can't reach them. And I just let them do this. Don't ask me why I have an egg collector. I don't really know why I have this. It's super unnecessary. It's not important. I don't know why I have this. It's just... if I ever wanted to make cake, I guess. I don't know. Like, I've had this world longer than there's been... I don't think armadillos were in the game yet when I made this world. There wasn't different types of sheep, well, there still isn't different types of sheep. There wasn't different types of cows, there wasn't different types of pigs, there wasn't different types of wolves yet. What else? The Pale Garden wasn't in the game yet when I made this world. Which I guess that's just what's been added in the last like year and a half. Quite a decent amount. Oh yeah, that's the unfortunate part. So basically how this iron farm works is there's 20 villagers under there. When you have 10 villagers, it'll form a village, in quotations. The game will think this area is a village. When you have at least 10 villagers, 10 workstations, and 10 beds. If you get 20, then it's like basically the game generates an iron golem for every 10 villagers in a village. So if you have 20, you get 2 iron golems at once. The only other downside to the game thinking this area is a village is cats spawn too. So that's why there's string in the iron farm's materials, because cats spawn in this hole and die, but only the adult cats drop string. So that's unfortunate. Okay, I guess I will go into the nether now to check out base number 2. And then I will travel out to the far reaches of the world to find, or to go to where I grab the dirt from. And then I will end the stream because I have nothing else to do. Is somebody moving in upstairs? I hear like a ton of movement upstairs and people dragging things. Maybe they're moving out. What do I think about the sphere? I haven't really messed around with it. I haven't crafted one yet. So you see, because I'm using older textures, you have a mix of both new netherrack and old. Because obviously they changed the regular netherrack texture to match these. It's kind of funny. You can see like various stone pathways. This is the area, like basically when I drained the ocean monument, if you place wet sponges in the nether, they instantly become dried sponges because of the heat of the nether. So this is where I would place the sponges. Not that that's what I made this platform for to begin with. I forget what I actually made this for. Just different various areas to walk around and get to places. Like you'll see tunnels, like this tunnel here, or right there. I have various tunnels. This one goes to the stronghold, so this one goes to the village where the stronghold is. This one goes to the desert/badlands plus nether fortress. And this one goes to secondary base, which I think is the tunnel we just saw. About the sponges? I assume that's what you mean by that. I probably could have brought a sponge. Like, you just place one and they instantly evaporate. It's way quicker than... Like, sure, when I was draining it, I had to go all the way from the Ocean Monument to the nether portal, and then walk in there, and then walk back after I did it, but... Still quicker, I think, than heating them up in a furnace. Because you can dry all of them at once, instead of... whatever. This is the secondary base, and then this one goes to the mushroom field, so like a mushroom biome. So there's the Great Pyramid. It is the same size as, at least from the surface, anyway. It's the same size as the brick pyramids from Minecraft InfDev, Infinite Development. Except that those things were, one, naturally generated, and two, not hollow. This is where I prototyped the underwater passageway that I later used on the underwater base project. This is how I made the entrance. This way, but this one's more of an actual passageway instead of just the entrance. I also made this year too. Super cool, like lava rings and water rings and stuff. Just really neat design. I had no reason to build this. I just thought, well, I have this gigantic lake, so I might as well put something in it. Oh god. Don't mind me. I haven't had a drowned in this tunnel before. It's weird. Guess he spawned in here. I would have thought they would need more than one block of water for that. Okay. See that a little better. And that lava here is the same source as the lava up here. I don't know, one thing that kind of inspired this was, besides for like, oh, it would be cool to build like one of those brick pyramids, but it's like, that would take an eternity to get that many bricks just to make that. So I was like, what if I made it out of cobblestone and made it look kind of like the Bass Pro Shops pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee? Have you ever heard of that? Have you seen that before? Basically, there's a really cool video about it, but in Memphis, Tennessee, there is someone made 30 minutes left. Okay. In Memphis, Tennessee, like in the late 70s, early 80s, somebody made a giant pyramid that was supposed to have like a sports stadium or whatever in it and stuff, and it did, kind of, like the bottom half of it. But then but then like after a while it stopped getting used. Like, I forget what it was, like its actual name was. And the top section was never used. It was supposed to be like a sports memorabilia museum or something. So then it closed down, and then it sat abandoned for like a decade, and then Bass Pro Shops of all companies moved into it and made it a gigantic, super themed store related to hunting and stuff. I'm like, that's super funny to me. So it's just a gigantic, like, steel-looking pyramid with like a Bass Pro Shops logo on the side of it. It's so funny. So like, let's make the Bass Pro Shops pyramid in Minecraft. That's one reason why I have like the top of it be a little bit like glass, because that's like on the Bass Pro Shops pyramid, that's like an observation area, like an observation deck. And then I thought, actually that looks kind of cool. Like when I stopped filling it in and ran out of blocks, I was like, oh, that actually looks cool without stone there, so I made that glass. These statues represent two different stages of my time playing Minecraft. The Clone Trooper statue is the first skin I ever used on Minecraft PS4 edition, so that represents me on Minecraft PS4. And then this skin is the skin I use on Bedrock edition, so it references me in Bedrock edition. So technically, I've been using probably both these skins for just as long, because like when they added the marketplace to Pocket Edition, when they made it into Bedrock Edition, this is a free skin, so I used this. There is technically a skin I used before that. Before Pocket Edition became Bedrock Edition, there wasn't skins in the game normally. The only way to get skins on Pocket Edition before it became Bedrock Edition, I believe, was through like third-party like skin apps. So like you could get like an app on your phone where you could download a skin and it would put it into your game. Don't ask me how that works, but obviously you don't. That's completely unnecessary now. It'd be like a Minecraft, like, oh Jesus. It'd be like Planet Minecraft almost, or what's the? There's websites. It'd be like Minecraft skin websites on a computer, but on your phone. I need to go to sleep because I do not want to deal with that. So here's my secondary base. This is my first like properly furnished base. The other one was my starter base, where this was like, I didn't need to make this base, I just thought it'd be cool to make it. I just thought this was a cool area, so I was like, you know, let's do stuff over here. It's only 1,000+ blocks away from the other ones, so I could easily walk here. Cool fireplace. Yeah, it's like like the app was cool because I don't know if I had multiple apps, but I remember at some point there was also multiplayer. Like that was a way to get like online multiplayer onto Pocket Edition back in the day with game chat as well somehow. It was very weird. It was very interesting. Like I remember playing when I was like, God, like 11 years old. I remember like playing Minecraft Hunger Games on Pocket Edition with game chat. And one thing I remembered about it was one of the items in it was like basically it would create like the server instead of like a local wireless, like a local Wi-Fi world to join. You could join it. You play a round of Hunger Games. I remember one of the big things about it was like within this server it also like modded in items or whatever. So like there was chainmail armor in that like Hunger Games server or whatever with like in like its outline, so like the screen would be like red, but like not even when you're hovering over it, just was from what I remember, because that item wasn't in the game yet. There wasn't chainmail armor in Pocket Edition. In fact, I don't even know if there was armor in general in Pocket Edition forever. So tree farm, which I used to make the floors. Lava farm. Furnace room. I forget what I used that for. Mostly like, I think I eventually used it to make the glass. Bedroom. My only, this is my only enchantment, not enchantment, potion setup room. Like, alchemy? What would you call that? I don't know. Storage room. Hot tub. And farm room, which is a bit bigger than my other one. Then we have the above floors. You have the battle arena and the basketball court. So here's the battle arena. What's the point of a battle arena in a world that doesn't have more than one person on it? I don't know, I just thought it'd be cool to build. Spectators can go around. They get blocked here, and then you could walk around the other way. So like different spectators would be like, oh, they go to this side if they want to root for this guy, or they go to that side if they want to root for the other guy, whatever. Have I heard this song before? I don't know if I have. To be fair, I don't play this game that much without headphones. And here's the basketball court. And then you have the home and guest signs that you could change the score, but you can't even play it because I built this thinking, oh, can I place signs on cobwebs like you can in pretty much any other version of the game? Nope, that's not a thing apparently due to the coding of Bedrock Edition. You can do that on, I think, console and on Java, but you can't do it on this. You can't place signs on like transparent blocks or whatever, which is just bizarre and stupid. Because that's not how it works on other versions of the game, but whatever. And yet you can place signs on top of signs? Okay. Oh yeah, I've heard this song before. I just rarely hear this one. I like this one. So basically this... Why is it when I look right, the audio messes up? Stop. That's such a weird bug. It doesn't do it when I look left, but it does it when I look right when I'm on a minecart track. This giant mountain, this extreme hills biome, is practically hollow. See that big cave in there? That goes down in there. This whole area here is empty. There's nothing in there. And it goes all the way down until eventually, like, it branches off into multiple directions, and one of those directions leads to an ancient city. So I can't expand. Unfortunately, I can't expand that base anymore because I can't make it any lower. Because you just reached the gigantic bubble down there, the vacuum. So I guess time to go out into the wilderness. Well, actually, I want this song to play. Yeah, I didn't really walk over here, did I? I didn't find the sea either. I just typed a name that made sense for the situation, and this is the world I got. But yeah, like, one main reason I even went out to try to find a Badlands was so I could get the gold for this. I guess I could have got gold from the nether, but that would have taken a long time. As you can see. I probably used that skin on Minecraft PS3 edition. I know I owned my, or I still own a PS3. I know I played Minecraft on the PS3, but I forget how much I did on there. It's such a vague memory for me. Because it's just like, I know I didn't play with friends on there, unfortunately. I just didn't have that many friends who, one, just in general, but also I didn't have that many friends who had a PS3. And I didn't make friends with people on PS3, so. So I'm like, the most I would have done would maybe play with family members, if ever, or just mess around with it on my own, and I'm just like, I probably didn't play it that much. I remember messing around with the tutorial world. I don't remember much beyond that, really. Because I mostly played Minecraft on my phone, or my iPad. Okay. Last stop, and then I'll end the stream, is the area where I gather resources. I imagine it'll probably be nighttime by the time we get there, because it takes forever to reach there, even by minecart. How long have I been streaming? Three hours, 20 minutes, okay. I forget, did I have the iron farm already by the time I made this track? I don't know if I did. I know that one reason I even went out to the that mine shaft was so I could gather rails. I'll be sitting here for a while. Oh yeah, I didn't look out there. It's a really cool sight in that open window area. There's like a big thing of lava. Like a big lava fall landed on something and like spread everywhere. It's really cool. Halfway through this, we eventually pass another fortress. Like, I was looking for one, I couldn't find one, and then I passed through here, and then I randomly found one. Like, when going out this direction. Yeah, there. I think that's the other port? Maybe not, actually. It might be up ahead. There it is. Okay, so we're only 600 blocks away. I had to go back and forth from this place over and over and over again yesterday. Am I hearing myself like walking over the nether rack? I think so. You know, we're near the end when we see the blue mist of the Soul Sand Valley. About 150 blocks left. Yeah, I am hearing myself on top of this. It's weird. Because it's just something you pick up on when you're listening to this on the headphones. I really hope it's daytime. Probably isn't though. What am I hearing? Are they screaming at each other in there? Nope, it's nighttime. Okay. Oh god. Oh god. You can see right there, you see the blue glowing thing, that's a creeper. You can see where I've mined out. So basically with old textures on Bedrock Edition, it's kind of bugged. Don't ask me why, because I don't think they've even changed the textures on the creeper at all. Using old texture pack, it's buggy. So they always look charged when they're not. Oh god. Witch. Oh god. That's so scary. It's not a bad thing to me though, because that means I can see them, which is nice. Get me to the bed, please. So this is where I mined the dirt from. Well, I've passed a bunch of it, but this is where I mined the dirt from yesterday. So many creepers. Is there a creeper over here? Not that close. There we go. And he's gone? Where the heck did he go? Anyway, did he fall in the hole? Something did. A sheep. A sheep fell in the hole. Yeah, this is all natural terrain. So this used to be a big, like, little plains area next to gigantic jungle. And I dug all this out. And this bit here is what I did last night. I don't know why there's stalagmites and stuff just out in the open. It's weird to see them on the surface, but that's natural. That's how it was. I don't know if that's intentional, if that's like a bug. You can see here's these 3 double chests were once filled with dirt. I'm kind of cautious. Do I want to grab more dirt? Because there's creepers everywhere. And I know they don't die in the sun, so I need to keep my eye open. So many holes. You can see all of that I mined out, all of this I mined out, all the tons of stone that we passed I mined out. The desert over there I also used to grab sand and red sand. Like, this is just the area I used, like, besides for when I only came out here to get gold. I now use it to gather resources. I'll break this shovel and then I'll go back. And I'll continue doing this off camera. I wonder if he's still here. Okay, good night.